Okay, so we'll read the synonyms, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Synonyms. Saha, he, Swambhuva Manu. Evam, thus. Swa Antaram, his own period. Ninye, past. Yoganam, of the cycles of 4 ages. Eka Saptatim, 71. Vasudeva, with Vasudeva. Prasangane, by topics connected. Paribhuta, transcended. Gatitraya, the 3 destinations. Translation. He passed his time, which lasted 71 cycles of 4 ages. That's 71 times 4,320,000 years. Always thinking of Vasudeva and always engaged in matters regarding Vasudeva. Thus, he transcended the 3 destinations.
Wow.
Purport. The 3 destinations are meant for persons who are under the control of the 3 modes of the material nature. These destinations are sometimes described as awakened, dreaming, and unconscious stages. In Bhagavad Gita, the 3 destinations are described as the destinations of persons in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. It is stated in the Gita that those who are in the mode of goodness are promoted to better living conditions in higher planets, and those who are in the mode of passion remain within this material world on earth or on heavenly planets. But those who are in the mode of ignorance are degraded to an animal life on planets where life is lower than human. But one who is Krishna conscious is above these 3 modes of material nature. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that anyone who engages in devotional service to the Lord automatically becomes transcendental to the 3 destinations of material nature and is situated in the Brahma-bhuta or self-realized stage. Although Swayambhuva Manu, the ruler of this material world, appeared to be absorbed in material happiness, he was neither in the mode of goodness nor in the modes of passion or ignorance, but in the transcendental stage. Therefore, one who fully engages in devotional service is always liberated. Bilva Mangala Thakura, a great devotee of the Lord, stated, "If I have unflinching devotion to the lotus feet of Krishna, then Mother Liberation is always engaged in my service. The complete perfection of material enjoyment, religion, and economic development is at my command. People are after dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Generally, they perform religious activities to achieve some material gain, and they engage in material activity for sense gratification. After being frustrated in material sense gratification, one wants to be liberated and become one with the absolute truth. These 4 principles form the transcendental path for the less intelligent. Those who are actually intelligent engage in Krishna consciousness, not caring for these 4 principles of the transcendental method. They at once elevate themselves to the transcendental platform, which is above liberation. Liberation is not a very great achievement for a devotee, to say nothing of the results of ritualistic performances in religion, economic development, or the materialistic life of sense gratification. Devotees do not care for these. They are situated always on the transcendental platform of the Brahma-bhuta stage of self-realization. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We'll chant the Mangala Charan prayer. If you'd like, you could unmute and please join me. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishnabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Meet Litter Robot, the revolutionary.
Hare Krishna. So, devotees, thank you very much for joining today morning's Bhagavad Sapta. It's such a beautiful day. And in the morning, I got up and I was thinking, with the every rising and setting of the sun, it is said it brings us closer towards death, because each one of us has only that much quota of breaths that we take. It's predetermined. So every rising of the sun and setting, it brings us closer and closer to leaving this body. And I was thinking, there's this choice that we have of becoming deathless, because we'll die and then we'll get another body, born again, die again, born again, die again. So we have this choice of becoming deathless, and Krishna consciousness and whatever sadhana that we are engaging in to become Krishna conscious, every rising and setting of the sun brings us towards deathlessness. See the beauty and the importance and significance of us attending Bhagavad Sapta in the morning, Bhagavad Katha in the morning, Bhagavad Gita in the evening. So this is, I thought I'd share with you. So today's learning focus is going to be transcending the material worlds. Most of you are very familiar with this. All the same, we will again revise it, because repetition makes it go deeper and deeper, and we may get some new realizations into this topic. So let us start with Swayambhuva Manu's bio, a brief bio. So he comes from Brahma. So Lord Brahma, he is the Manasaputra. Manasaputra means born from the mind. Yeah. And he is also a great Mahajan. There are 12 Mahajanas, and he is one of the Mahajan. The Mahajan is somebody whose footsteps the Praja or the general population follows towards a better destination, like a guide, Mahajan. So following in the footsteps, Jayadatta Swami was asked this question, that Maharaj, what's the difference between following in the footsteps and imitating? So Maharaj replied that imitation is we copy the form, the external. So, for example, there's a very famous Bollywood film star, and you see all these young men, even middle-aged men, they'll try to copy his hairstyle, the way he speaks, and the way his facial expression, or the jewelry that one of them wears, a bracelet, that blue color bracelet. So they wear that. Now they say imitation is the best form of flattery, but whoever is imitating is doing it for his own self-interest. He feels that, oh, if I wear this bracelet and if I make my hairstyle this way and I adopt these mannerisms, people will also, I'll be very attractive to people and people will get attracted to me. So me, correct? It's really not for that person whom they are imitating. Just because that person has fame, if I imitate him, even I will get fame and whatever. However, following in the footsteps is obedience to the instruction. So the Mahajan, Acharya, based on the way he behaves, what instructions he or she gives, and we follow that. That we are doing it. One is, it is, of course, elevating our consciousness as taking us closer towards a destination, towards what the true purpose of life is. That's one. And it is also very pleasing to the other person, the Mahajan, whom we are following, whose instructions we are obeying. Now, for him, it is not an ego trip. He is happy because it elevates us. So, Swayambhuva Manu is a Mahajan. Now, these two forms came from Brahmaji. One was male, which is Manu, and the other was female, Shatarupa. So Manu married Queen Shatarupa, and they had 5 kids, 2 sons and 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. So this particular chapter is where Devahuti marries Kardama Muni. So how the whole thing comes into play. And then finally, after his responsibilities are done, Swayambhuva Manu was totally absorbed, in spite of being the ruler, not of a city, not of a kingdom, but the entire universe. He was completely detached. He was always absorbed. Detached means not engaged in whatever material sense gratification, though he had every facility to do so. He remained completely detached. Hare Krishna. And that is the instructions that we can get from this Mahajan, how to be detached. Usually, if we have little bit of fortune comes our way, we become so absorbed into that. And even when fortune is taken away, we lose it. So much depression, and we are still absorbed in that. Arey, mera pura lut gaya, main barbad ho gaya, this, that, whatever it is. So this is Prajapati Swayambhuva Manu, and this is the instruction that we can get from his character. Hare Krishna. Now, we'll get to this material world, what it is. So different types and attributes. So we know there are these 3 modes. It's the Sattvic, the Rajasic, and the Tamasic. So anything and everything in the material world is controlled by these 3. So you can look at them. There's that famous picture. There are 3 puppeteers. So these Matajis have like strings in their hand. And we are the puppets. So every thought, word, deed is being controlled by this. Now, no one is purely Sattvic or purely Tamasic or Rajasic. There's always a mixture, but there will be one particular guna which will be predominant. So we can say, Arey, uska nature aisa hai. There are some people who are very easygoing, calm, who are peaceful. You can see that they are in the Sattvic mode, nature hai unka. And there are some people who are very ambitious, aggressive, very passionate. So they are in the Rajasic mode. And there are some people who are dull and sust. That's the Tamasic mode. So everything comes under this 3 categories. The food we eat. So similarly, they say no eating onion and garlic. So one may make an argument, Arey, onion and garlic is vegetarian. It's not meat. We can understand meat has a lot of violence and we incur that karma, and that also our body is not meant for eating meat, and then there's this imbalance, etc., etc. What's wrong if I eat onion and garlic? Onion and garlic comes under the tamasic category. That plant is under tamasic category, and when we eat, we are what we eat. It impacts our consciousness. So if a goal is to elevate the consciousness, you cannot be doing something to deflate it and push it further lower. You can't be doing that. So that's the reason why we don't eat onion and garlic. And like this, there are so many other things. Even in animals, cow is in the mode of goodness. So there are these different gunas that we have. Now, sattvic guna is considered to be in the awakened stage. So there are 3 stages or destination, as Prabhupada has explained in the purport. There is the awakened stage, there is the sleeping, and then there is the unconscious, like in coma state. So our consciousness, everyone is conscious. All of us have that chit shakti. We are part and parcel of Krishna. So we have that consciousness over here. So when that consciousness is in an awakened state is what happens when you're awake. You're aware of so many other things around you. Like right now I'm talking to you, I'm sharing Krishna consciousness with you all, and there is a truck outside which is beeping, a car is outside which is beeping. So whilst I'm talking, I'm also having the attention which is going there. So when I'm awakened, now if I'm sleeping, I may not, because it's not loud enough to wake me up. And if I'm unconscious, even if it is blaring right next to me, I wouldn't be knowing it. So that's the awakened state. And people who are in the awakened state go to a higher planet, and there is more facilities, better facilities for enjoyment. Similarly, sleeping state also could be promoted to the higher planets, or here on Earth, there are 14 planetary systems. Earth is in the middle. The higher planetary systems, as you go higher, there's better facilities for enjoyment, sense gratification. And as you go lower, it becomes very hellish. So this is the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic guna. And this is how we are all caught up in it. So what are these gunas? It is one of the ingredient of matter. So we know there are those 24 elements, correct? The Mahat. So this is one of the ingredients of the material nature. It binds us in action-reaction. It's because of these gunas we get caught in. Now someone says, oh, mode of goodness is good. No, what is bad with, no. Mode of goodness also will trap you into the cycle of birth and death. And that's not who we are meant to be caught up in this endless cycle. Very important point that these gunas are temporary. Karma is temporary. Bhagavad Gita talks about the 5 main topics: Ishwar, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. Karma is something which can be erased completely. You could negate karma completely. So the Jiva can rise. So this is the good hope, you can say, that you need not be caught up in the circle of birth and death. So what are the methods of transcending the material mode? So if we see transcendence means to get above something. And in this case, we're talking about these material modes of nature. So there are 2 mainly. One is the liberation, and the other, which is what you do is, when we talk about the religious act, it is controlled rather than just being like animals, anything and everything. You do it in a proper manner where you can control your sense gratification. However, the purpose is to get a better form of sense gratification. So your dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So that liberation. Now, this liberation can be temporary. The ultimate sense gratification for a transcendentalist who is on the liberation, path of liberation, is becoming one with God. He will merge into the Brahman effulgence. Even then, it is temporary. It is for a very long scale period of time. But however, when that quota is over, you come back into the circle of birth and death. The other is beyond liberation, which has permanent effect. Permanent effect. So once you get into that stage, you're out of the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. And what is it? it is bhakti. That process is called bhakti. Bhakti has three key components in that. In absence of these three, it is not bhakti, it is something else. Please keep this in mind, dear devotees. Loving, devotional service. Loving, devotional service. To whom? To Shri Krishna, the Supreme. What does devotion mean? Devotion means full attention, no diversion. Tu hi tu, bas tu hi tu. Devoted. And love. What is love? What is seva? Seva is the medium through which love is expressed. Seva is the medium through which love is expressed. 2 days back, we had Mother's Day. Out of 365 days, we take 1 day to celebrate and honor Mother. And, in social media and here, there, everyone will be posting ma, mother, ye, wo, everything. Then Monday comes and back to normal. Same old. That's the situation we have. But for a mother, she celebrates her child every day, whether the child is a rascal or whether the child is obedient. Doesn't matter. A mother will just do it unconditional. And it is said that the love a mother has to a child is the closest to what love really is. Love is unmotivated, uninterrupted, and unconditional. No matter what. This is what it is. So where these three aspects are there, where there is love, where there is devotion, and where there is seva to the Supreme, that's the path of bhakti, and that is what can take us beyond liberation. So when we have these opportunities of seva, we may not have the love, we may not have the devotion, but gradually engaging in seva to the Supreme, to Krishna and Krishnas, then that's how we can start to awaken. These things are already within us. It's not something which is artificially imposed on top. It's already within us. It just needs to get rid of that covering. So the bhakti is the way of how we go beyond birth, old age, disease, and death. I read a very nice thing, a lecture I heard by His Holiness Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Swami. Wonderful realization. He said, we have rituals. Rituals are all the things that we do. Oh, Ghanti Bajaya, oh, Agarbatti and Diya, you do it. And so many rituals are there. And there's a science and a philosophy and a purpose behind that. Of course, most of us don't know it. We just mechanically do it. If you understand the purpose and the philosophy and the science behind it, then that act becomes so much more meaningful. And not just, I say, you bow down and walk away out of that. So he said, spirit, we know who we are, Atma. Spirit plus ritual is spiritual. What a lovely definition of spiritual. When that act with the spirit is involved, that consciousness is involved in it, it becomes spiritual. From spiritual, you could get to the Brahma Bhuta stage, which is self-realization. Then I understand who I am, what my purpose is. Last night I was talking with Sachi Rani, we were talking, and we were discussing about Prabhupada and what his contributions are. And I asked her the question, what does Krishna conscious mean to you? So she thought for a while and she said, it gives me purpose in life. What is the purpose in life? Most of us are just going through the motions. And Krishna consciousness has brought this awareness as why I am I doing, who I am, why am I doing, what I'm supposed to be doing. So that level of self-realization. So from Brahma Bhuta stage, we can get to the Krishna conscious stage, which is full of knowledge and bliss. Hare Krishna. So Prabhu's, Mataji's, if anyone has a comment or a question, we have 3-4 minutes. You could ask. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
The Manu lives that long life.
Yeah, Mataji. There are different species. There are 8.4 million. And in that 8.4 million, the human species, there are 400 types of species, human species. And we can see that, through the race, some people have a different color skinned, some are lighter skinned, whatever it be. There are different races, but it's not just the classification is not just on the physical attributes. The classification is also based on the level of consciousness. So you can understand it that as you get to a higher state of consciousness and even higher planetary systems, the time scale is phenomenal. Like here on Mother Earth, where all of us are there, the maximum you have is about 100 years. And of course, as time goes by, it gets degraded. It's getting shorter and shorter. I mean, it's so surprising to hear that kids 28, 30 years old are dying of heart attack. When I was growing up, heart attack was something which happened to grandparents, but now it's happening in the youth, and all these whatever. So the time span is reducing. As we go in the higher planetary systems, the time scale improves. The time scale not improves, it extends. Of course, the quality of life also improves. So Manu has 71 yugas. Each yuga is 4.32 million years. Each yuga. We have the Satyug and Dwapar, Treta, Kalyug. We have these 4 yugas. And then after these 4 yugas, again, there is a new cycle. 4 cycle starts. So that one cycle is 4.32 million years. And Manu's lifespan is 71 times 4.32 million. That is his human years, if we calculate as per our scale.
So then he's in a Kali Yuga too right now, but he's not there. He should be also in Kali Yuga.
He's there in Kali Yuga also. I think the current Manu is, I can't pronounce it right. Someone may help me. Vaivaswata.
Vaivaswat Manu.
Thank you, Mataji. Vaivaswat Manu is the current, in our cycle, you get it? He is the current. So he's not Swayambhuva Manu. So Swayambhuva Manu's period is over. After 71, then another Manu comes over there. And you have these 71, and there are the 14 of them are there. You have these 14 Manus who come in one day of Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma is like phenomenal, his life scale. He's 3.11 trillion years, like over 3 trillion years. So just like we have now, even Brahma is for 100 years, but those 100 years are equivalent to our 311 trillion years. So that way, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. It is 7 o'clock. Madhupati Prabhu, over to you.
We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day. The Parna time for today, breaking fast time, has already started, 5:38 to 10:28 a.m. We'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Praladrisha, Jaya Padma, Maka Padma Bringam, Ugravidam, Mahavisham, Janantam, Sarvatomukam, Nrsimham, Bhishanam, Badram, Mityam, Navamiham. Nrsimha Bhagavan ki jai, Raja ki jai. For our humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees.
Vanchakalpatarubhasya
Sindhu Bhayavacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namah Vaishnavinda ki jai. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaudimanande.
Hari Bol. Thank you everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.